My dear students, I welcome all of you for today's session on system modeling and simulation. In this session, we will have a discussion about output analysis for a single model. So before that, let me tell you, for a real system, okay, if I ask you to implement, you to design, if I ask you to design a model for a real system, okay, so all of you will come with your solution, right? Means all of you will come with your solution. I mean, all of you will come with their own model, okay? And the model you have developed is for the system I have told you. Clear? So now, there are many solutions. I mean, there are many models for a single system. Got it? I mean, not a single model. There are many models for a real system. Okay. So there are many models for a real system. Now, which model I should prefer? Got it? Because all models are nothing but solution for the real system. Clear? So I mean, the one model I'll prefer, which is with the best performance. Clear? So means first and foremost thing, I need to evaluate the performance. Okay, how effective all models, all solutions for a system. Clear? So once I have evaluated the performance of all the models, got it? Once I repeat, once I have evaluated the performance of all the models, got it? Then I can make use of optimization via simulation technique. Got it? To select the one among several models that optimizes performance. So, clear. So, to select the best model, first what we need to know, we need to know the performance of all the models, right? So, to know the performance of all the models, we need to know the procedure. We need to know the methodology. Got it? So, how to investigate, how to estimate the performance of all the models. Once we know how to estimate the performance of all the models, then we can evaluate the performance. We can determine the performance of all the models. Then, the one model that optimizes performance, I can prefer as a solution for a system. Yeah. So, in this session, rather than determining performance of all the models, okay, the only thing you need to know is how to estimate the performance, right? So I take an example of one model. Of course, there might be several models for a system, but we will prefer one model. Got it? And then we will see how to estimate the performance of that model. Clear? So once you know how to estimate the performance of one model, it means you know how to evaluate the performance of all other models. Clear? So the title of this session is Output Analysis for a Single Model, because in this session I'm discussing with you how to estimate the performance, how to evaluate the performance of a single model. Got it? Clear? So for example, just think of it, what actually performance means. Okay, just think banking system. In banking system, what are the performance measurements we are familiar with? One, how long the customer might wait in the queue, means average waiting time. That is one performance measure. Got it? Then what about the server utilization in a bank? I mean, there may be one teller machine or one or two teller machines. How efficiently each teller machines are utilized. So this is just an example for some performance measure. Okay, for a banking system, depending on the system. for which I am developing a model, okay, its performance measurements may vary. Yeah, got it. So now let me come to agenda of this session. So at first, we will have a discussion about the purpose, okay, of output analysis. So what actually purpose, what is the purpose of output analysis? Why output analysis is required? Got it? But I tell you, you don't get confused. Output is not the output here. When you say output is something for a given output we are expecting. Okay, some result that is not actually the output here. Output analysis means analysis about the result here. Got it? Analysis about the result. Okay, so don't get, for every input there may be an output. Got it? But we are analyzing about output. So that is purpose of output analysis. Clear? So then once we have a discussion about the purpose of output analysis, means once we have come to know what actually the objective of output analysis, okay? Got it. We will have a discussion about types of simulations. Okay, types of simulations with respect to output analysis. Got it. So I mean to say, for some system, I have designed a model. Okay, that model, after executing for some duration of time, it will terminate. It will end. Means simulation will end. Got it. Such a simulation we call transient or terminating simulation. Okay. There are some other systems. Okay. For example, let me give one example for a terminating simulation. Okay. Terminating simulation means I'm simulating for a banking system. Got it? So what about banking system? Simulating a banking system means bank system commences, opens, starts at 9:30 a.m. in the morning, and it closes at 4:30 p.m. in the evening. Got it? Means I'm simulating for an entire day of the bank. At the end, bank is going to close at 4:30 p.m. Means the simulation stops when time approaches, time ticks to 4:30 p.m. So a bank is an example for terminating simulation. What about non-terminating simulation? Means non-terminating simulation means the system keeps running infinitely for a longer time. Got it? Can we give an example for non-terminating simulations? Okay, when I say non-terminating simulations, got it? We can consider networks, computer networks, internet. Got it? So what happens? Network, of course, some cases network can break. Okay, it means the data. Let me say you're accessing the internet. Okay, in your mobile, and it will be forever, right, until there is sufficient data. Yeah, got it. Sufficient amount of data provided. So there's of course when your data pack expires, it's going to end. Means in this case, suppose I want to study how efficiently you are utilizing data provided by network provider. Got it? You might have reached out for a month or 3 months. But each day you might not be utilizing frequently or may utilize frequently. But I want to see how efficiently you're utilizing data. I need to simulate, I need to design a model, and I need to run for a month or 3 months. Got it? When a data expires, of course, simulation is going to terminate. Okay, but after long duration of time, it gets terminated. Such a system we call non-terminating simulation. Now coming to agenda, purpose of output simulation. See, output analysis, what I said, analysis of result, right? Yeah. Means let me say you are given, you are written a program for determining square. You are given an input to, output is of course 4. But I'm concerned here with analysis of this result 4. Got it? So output analysis is the examination of data generated by simulation. Simulation has produced some results, some data, and analysis, examination of that data, we call output analysis. So output analysis is the examination of data generated by simulation. Okay. Why we need to examine data generated by simulation? Means examining, got it, observing the data is to predict the performance of the system. Because I said I need to evaluate the performance, right? So I can evaluate the performance of data. Sorry, I can evaluate the performance of system through the data generated by that model. Got it? So let me say an output analysis is not only to predict the performance of a model. Okay, suppose I said I've given one problem on the system for you guys. All of you are come up with your own model, right? So I will analyze the output of everyone's model. Everyone's model I've analyzed. Got it? So now I can compare the analysis of everyone's means everyone. After analyzing everyone's model, I get performance measurement of everyone's model. So now I can compare the performance of several models, right? Clear? So the purpose of output analysis is either to predict the performance of a system or to compare the performance of two or more designs, two or more models. Okay. So I said in this chapter, what I'm dealing, in this session, I'm dealing with the performance of a single model. Got it? So the need for statistical analysis. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. In bank, okay, do we know when the customer may arrive to bank? At what time the customer may arrive? Whether the customer will arrive at sharp 9:30, or whether the customer is going to arrive at 10, whether the customer is going to arrive at 9:45, it's unpredictable. The customer may arrive to bank at random time. I mean, customer, well, the input to bank is random. Clear? Arrival of a customer to bank is random. So because of random input, we have what? Random output. Got it? Clear? We don't means because of random input, there's a random output. So it means simulation exhibits randomness. Got it? So means in this what you need to, I now I am simulating a banking system, right? Got it? So I will I will simulate the bank. I have a model for the banking system. In first run, I will give one stream of input numbers, input sequence, and in the next run, I'll give the other stream of input sequence. Since in each of the two runs, a different sequence is given as an input. Got it? So the system model is going to produce two sets of outputs, and those two sets of output, of course, differs. Got it? Clear with this? Because in a bank, today some 10 customer might have arrived. Tomorrow, 15 customers may arrive. Got it? So today's utilization is entirely different from tomorrow's utilization. I mean, the performance of today might be differ from the performance what is given tomorrow. Got it? So clear with this? So this is about randomness. Simulation exhibits randomness. Got it? So now, so what actually an objective I said? to estimate system performance. Yeah. So now let me tell you, in general, for a bank system, okay, in general, for a bank system, okay, uh, one performance measurement, let me consider, that is average waiting time. Got it? So average waiting time. So let in general, I may call it as theta. In the slide, have a look at the slide. There's some theta, right? So that is one performance measurement. Say, for example, average waiting time of a customer in a bank. Okay. Now, what I'll do today for today, I will run the simulation. Okay. From 9:30 to 4:30, some n number of customers have arrived to bank. Okay. So I will determine waiting time of all n customers. Got it? Waiting time of all customers I've determined. As sum those and I divided by n. So what I got? I got today's average waiting time. Clear? I got today's average waiting time. When I simulate for tomorrow, okay, tomorrow what the average time I'm going to get might be different from today average waiting time. Next, if I run this model again day after tomorrow, the average time what I'm going to get day after tomorrow might be different from its previous 2 days. Clear? So then, if we have asked in an exam, what is an average waiting time of that particular model? What is an average waiting time of that particular model? So what answer you are going to give? Whether you are going to give average, whether you are going to answer, whether your answer is today's average waiting time, or tomorrow's average waiting time, or day after tomorrow's average waiting time. So answer is always one, right? So, so what we need to see is because all in the average waiting time of all 3 days got differed slightly. So I can't say 3 average waiting times as an answer. I need to tell one. So what is that one? Okay, so that we need to determine. And with respect to that, I need to compare what is an error in today's average waiting time or tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's waiting time. Okay, clear with this? Clear? Got it. So in general, theta means I need to determine banking systems average waiting time of a customer. Okay, let me call in general let theta be the system performance. Okay, the precision of the estimator. Got it. Mm, uh, in general, theta cap, what I've shown, right? The theta cap is nothing but might be for one run, might be today's average waiting time. Let me call it as theta one cap. Actually, I have not written subscript one. In general, let me call theta one cap represents today's average waiting time. Theta two cap represents tomorrow's average waiting time. Theta three cap represents day after tomorrow's average waiting time. In general, as some an average waiting time. Clear? So sum it will get mean, right? Divide by n. I'm going to get mean. That is, let me call theta. Clear? So I got a mean. I got some mean. That is average of all the average waiting times. Clear? Theta is average of all the average waiting times. So that is one answer. What I should tell. But the next after some time, some days, if I run run again, I'm going to get some other average waiting time. So there is an error. Error means I got something else up that not exactly the mean. Got it? Not exactly the average of average waiting time. Means not exactly as mean. So means the difference with the mean and what the average waiting time I got when I run the simulation, that is some error. Okay, and precision, if I want to say that model is accurate, there should not be very long difference. Got it? The difference should be minimized. Clear with this? So, or that is we need to estimate, we need to evaluate the standard error. Next one is let me tell you. Of course, okay. One thing I can make some observation. Okay, rather than see, you have asked a question. What is an average waiting time of a banking system? So you can't tell a single day's average waiting time. Answer is not today's average waiting time or tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's. Clear. So what we'll do, we will run for some. We will run for a week, and we'll. I mean to say, we will run it 7 times, 7 days. So let me perform 7 runs. Okay, 7 runs means we'll run today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow for an entire week. We'll run. After running, we'll compute average waiting time of all 7 days, and we need to from that 7 outputs. Okay, we will have the lower bound and the upper bound. Means what is the least average waiting time and what is the maximum average waiting time. That you can say when you have asked a question, what is an average waiting time? You can tell the average waiting time is this particular interval. I mean, the average waiting time will be between this and lower bound and the upper bound. Got it? So we need to determine 2 things: width of a confidence, that we call confidence interval, because we are sure we have run it for 7 times, right? So we know what is the lower value and we know what is the higher value. That width I can say as a confidence interval. So what I'm clear. So now what is the purpose of output analysis in brief now? To estimate standard error, confidence interval. Okay. And see here, to estimate standard error, okay, or to estimate confidence interval, how many times I need to run the simulation on an average? See, I told I am running the simulation for 7 days. I am running the simulation for 7 days. But whether 7 days are sufficient, whether 7 days are sufficient, I mean whether running the simulation 7 times, I mean 7 runs are sufficient. Got it? So that we need to decide. That means we need to decide, we need to figure out the number of observations, number of runs. Got a number of runs we need to figure out required to achieve the perfect error or confidential interval. Confidence interval. Okay. Now, I said for a bank system, I'll run, say, for example, 7 runs I told you, right? So now the question is that this is just I have taken an example of banking system. Yeah. So, but banking system, real system. But when I simulate, yeah, when I simulate, I have designed a model. Now I am running the model for the first time. Okay, I'm running the model for the first time. Okay, I'll give some input. I'll give some input. Got it? Clear? So what happens? I'll give some input. Or let me for better example, let me tell you, I won't take an example for better. There are some issues I need to overcome. To overcome that issue, rather than taking a banking example, I'll take some inventory system. Okay, inventory system means, let me say, there's an inventory, there's a press. So everyone have an habit of reading the newspaper. Got it? So for one particular city, okay, what happens from Monday to Saturday, Sunday to Monday? Got it? What happens? The order is fixed because the supply is with number of demands. Got it. So when I I've developed a model for an inventory system. Now I run with, I know right today how many papers need to be printed, how many newspapers need to be printed. It's not prior. So I'll give that as an input. So what is an output finally? At the end of the day, means the output is that number of papers have been printed. A required number of papers have been printed. So tomorrow means I need to simulate a see today mod for Sunday, 100 papers need to be printed. So every Sunday, only 100 papers will be printed, right? Monday might be 150 papers need to be printed. Again, every Monday, 150 papers will be printed. Now I'm simulating inventory system for a week, assume. So at the start, I'll give some input. At the end of the week, I'll observe an output. So totally at the end of 1 week, how many papers have been printed? Let me observe it. So next run also, what we'll do? We will give the same input, right? Because we know about the requirement for that particular press, an order for that demand for that particular press. The same number of papers, same number of inputs, same number is an input, so same number of papers will be printed. I mean, in this case, I mean to say, when I run the simulation model with same set of inputs, assume, I mean, I've run the model 7 times, but with same set of inputs means our output will also be same. Clear? So the main thing I mean to say, there's a correlation. Correlation means no difference at all in the output. Means if we have run the model with the same input, so the output what we are going to get will also be same, right? So when I say to determine average of average waiting times in banking system, okay. Today some 10 customers may arrive to bank, tomorrow 20 customers, day after tomorrow 15 customers. There is a random input to the bank. So the output from the bank is always random. Got it? So we need to consider when we estimate the performance of a model. Okay, but to estimate, when I estimate the performance of a model, I may perform 7 runs. But for all 7 runs, what we need to give? We need to give random input. Means in none of the 7 runs, the input should be repeated. It should not be repeated. Got it? So that is that issue. If input streams are going to be repeated, that should be overcome. So that we call autocorrelation. Autocorrelation means similar inputs. Similar inputs produces similar outputs. So such things should be avoided, overcome. So I said that to overcome correlation in the output, what I said, I need to give different stream of input, right? So different stream of input. So when we are, right, seed random number generators. I think you have used in your algorithms lab random number generators. Okay, that random number generators, we use random number generators to give input to our model. Okay, for that random number generator, I specify what is the seed initial value. In each run, each of the 7 run, let me specify different seed. Okay, each of the 7 runs, let me specify different seed. Means starting array. Then the sequence of numbers generated by that random number generator will be entirely different in each 7 runs. Yeah. So now, coming to simulation, okay, terminating, non-terminating simulations with respect to output analysis. Got it. So what actual terminating simulation said? It runs for some duration of time TE. Okay, what E is a specified event that stops the simulation. I mean, let me say, in banking system, E is an event. Okay, I mean, stop E is an event that says stop the simulation when clock approaches 4:30 p.m. Clear? So starts at time 0. I mean, banking system starts at 9:30 and set 4:30 p.m. Okay, T is because stop event. Okay, T means stopping time. T means stopping time. Here in case of bank 4:30 p.m. So E is an event. E is something, some event that got triggered. E is a stopping event that got triggered when clock ticks to 4:30 p.m. Okay, and I said terminating simulation starts at time 0. Means actual 9:30 a.m. starts in for a bank, but we'll consider that as time 0. Got it? And it runs how long? 4:30. It stops at what? 4:30 p.m. Means up to 4:30. How many hours? 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. 4 plus 3, 7 hours. 7 hours means 7 into 60. 7 is 420 minutes. Got it? Clear with this? So terminating simulation means the starts at some time. In real time, it's 9:30 a.m., but we'll consider that as 0. And bank closes at what? 4:30 p.m., but we will consider that as 7 and 6, 420 minutes. Got it? So this is an example of banking system. Terminating simulation. Just now I told bank system, right? First example simulated the bank, okay, from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So there are 480 minutes. Okay. In second case, I'm simulating the bank for 2 hours. Okay. That is from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So stopping time is 120 minutes. At 11:30 a.m., initial time 0. When the clock ticks to 1:30 p.m., an stop event is triggered. Got it? To stop the simulation. Now, let me take one more example. This is some interesting rather than banking. Okay. So let me say I have a network here. Okay. Listen here. It's a communication system. It has several backup components and some other components. Okay. In this, okay, there's a communication, some information being communicated from node A to node B. So when this communication fails, if both B and C fails, if either B fails or either C fails, that doesn't help. If B fails, data can be communicated via C. If C fails, data can be communicated via B. Okay. So here the stop event is means this is communication from node A to node B. Okay. So when stop event will be triggered in this case when either destination node D has crashed, because when there's no destination, no need of communication. Clear? Or if both nodes both nodes B and C fails, because if B fails, data can be communicated via C. If C fails, data can be communicated via B. So if both B and C fails, no communication. So suppose, let me say node A crashes. Node A crashes, then there is no source for generating data, right? Then there's no question of communicating data. So here, in this is a communication system. So stop event is either A should fail, or D should fail, or both B and C should fail. So now we'll see non-terminating simulations. See, non-terminating simulations objective is to study the long run. I mean, infinitely for a longer time, I want to run the simulation. Okay. And I need to study the behavior in that long run. Means steady state will be there. Because I said I will simulate how efficiently you're using your data. Got it? How efficiently you're using your data for a month. Got it? Clear? So that is long run. Okay. So objective of non-terminating simulation is to study the long run behavior of non-terminating systems. Okay. So of course, when I run for the first time, okay, the start time is always I say 0. Okay. Then when it is going to stop. Okay. So you're accessing a data. So one it is going to stop, one data expands. Got it? Clear? This is other examples. Assembly lines, the shutdown infrequently. Okay, telephone systems. One our telephone, we have a connection. Okay, when it is going to terminate, when we are not might have not paid the bill. Okay, so such an example for non-terminating simulation. Okay, I said initial conditions defined by analyst runs for infinitely longer time t. Got it? And here I am concerned with steady state properties of the system. Means the longer the simulation, longer the duration simulation runs, the output state will be output will be in steady state. Okay, performance will be in some steady state. Got it? So one thing I need to tell you, because we are running infinitely for a 3-month period, assume, means in that case, day to day, okay, day to day your data access may vary, right? Because now in let me assume from Monday to Friday you have classes, online classes, so your data is utilized for a longer time. But Saturday and Sunday you don't have online classes, there will be lower utilization. Again, it repeats. Got it? In some cases, if there are general holidays, Sunday and the other general holidays, there may not be utilization of data. Got it? So I mean to say day-to-day performance, day-to-day analysis in non-terminating simulation is not influenced by the initial condition. Got it? Initial condition. It's not influenced by initial condition. So let me take one example, manufacturing process. Okay. Here, see here, this is similar to banking system like inventor system I told you, right? So assume there is one manufacturing company. Here we are simulating it for a week, not for a day. Okay, and in this manufacturing company there are 2 shifts, day and night shift. Okay, so here we need to say in this manufacturing company, I will simulate for a week or for a month. Okay, and I'm concerned with estimating the long run production levels and production efficiencies. Now, even HL, we know, right? A large web-based order processing company has many customers worldwide. So HL maintains large computer systems with many servers, workstations, peripherals that runs continuously 24 hours per day. To handle an increased workload, HL is considering additional CPUs, memory, and storage devices in various configurations. Got it? So I mean to say a network like cable network, you can say it's a non-terminating simulation. So whether simulation is considered to be terminating or non-terminating depends on 2 things: the objective of simulation study and nature of the system. This is about today's session. Thank you for listening.